The first multi-purpose charge card, aka a credit card that could be used in more than one place, was invented in 1950, meaning that credit cards are younger than your grandma. So, roll the intro. Howdy friends, my name's Hannah, and today we're digging into credit cards, but not just credit cards. We're digging into that tricky cycle you might be stuck in called the credit card float. Let me just start with this. Having access to someone else's money at any given time with the effortless swipe of a card is a huge privilege and responsibility, and whoa. That's a lot of unharnessed power. Add that on top of the fact that we're not generally given a detailed crash course on safe credit card practices when we're granted our first credit card limit, so it's no real surprise that a recent study found that 49% of Americans are reliant on credit cards to cover essential living expenses. I don't mean like Sephora, I mean like rent. So, I'll paint a picture. You need to pay for something and you don't have the money for it at the time, so you think, hey, I'll get paid in a few weeks, so I'll have the money soon. For now, I'll just swipe my credit card and pay it back when payday gets here. I understand. And yeah, sometimes it just happens. Life happens, right? But what happens when this scenario starts to repeat itself over and over again? This is actually the very beginning of the credit card float. We spend on an empty wallet, wait to get paid, and then pay the credit card bill once we have that fresh money on hand again. It doesn't seem all that outrageous when it just happens once or maybe twice, but if this cycle keeps going, eventually one day, you get paid and you realize you're using the better half of your paycheck to pay off last month's credit card bills, meaning yet again, you'll be forced to swipe the credit card all this month long until you're paid again next month. At this point, you are fully aboard the credit card float, always waiting on more money to come in so you can pay the credit card bill for your past purchases. And the big problem here is that now you're effectively living on next month's income to pay for this month's expenses, because this month's income paid the credit card company back for all of last month's expenses. Some of you watching this video right now are right away, that is me, 100% guilty. But if you're not sure whether you're riding the credit card float or not, here are two easy ways to tell. One, if you can't pay your credit card bill in full right now and pay for all of your current financial obligations, your rent, utilities, groceries, all that, then you're on the credit card float. A second way to tell, if the balance of your checking account is lower than the balance owed on the credit card, you're on the credit card float. Now, credit cards can be used so very well and responsibly, to be sure, but if we are dependent on them to make ends meet every month, this makes it absolutely impossible for us to ever get ahead. Even if you are religiously paying off your balance in full every month, if you need to swipe that card even once before your next paycheck comes in, you're riding the credit card float. Because if someone took away your credit card today, then your bank account would run dry before the next paycheck. See? Every time you charge on that card, you're promising away future income, and that's a really slippery slope to set up camp. And to make matters worse, most people don't initially realize that they're on the credit card float until they're super on the credit card float, and at that point, the cycle is just perpetuating itself over and over again. Now, it's also important, before we go too much further, that we recognize the hard truth here. When you use a credit card, that's debt. It's debt from the second you charge on the card because it's someone else's money that you chose to use instead of your own, or because you didn't have any. And anything we borrow, even if we have the intention of paying it right back, that's debt. It's actually a lot like a library book. If I go to the library and borrow a book, they'll say, no problem, take the book, just make sure you get it back to us in 2 weeks. I have to return it. It's not my book. Even if I bring it back tomorrow, that doesn't make it my book today. I may have possession temporarily, but that doesn't give me ownership. There's a difference. It's time for us to start thinking of our credit cards the same way. We want to get back to healthy, independent spending. Healthy spending means we get paid, we decide what we're going to do with each of our dollars, including making that credit card payment, and then spend according to that plan. If you're writing the credit card float, you're doing all of those things, but you're doing them in the wrong order. You're spending and then getting paid, then giving all of your dollars that you just got the job of paying the credit card bill. And once all of those dollars are given to paying back that bill, you're gonna be back to swiping the credit card on an empty wallet all over again. At YNAB, our goal for you isn't to be living on next month's income, and ultimately, it isn't even to be living on this month's income. Our goal for you is actually to be living on last month's income. It's actually the fourth of YNAB's 4 rules to successful budgeting. And the way we start living on last month's income is by reversing that order. First, we get paid, then we decide what each of our dollars is going to do for us. That's what we call a budget. And then we spend according to that plan, that budget. So, geez, Hannah, just cut to the chase. How in the world do we get off the credit card float? There are 2 ways to do it. There's a quicker way and a slower way. So let's start with the quick way. If you want to get off the credit card float as fast as possible, the key is to stop paying the card in full. What? Yeah, you heard me right. Instead, you're going to pay the minimum each month and use whatever money you have left over to start paying for your expenses up front. It's painful to know you're only paying the minimum. I know. Interest sucks, debt sucks, it all sucks. But the more you can pay for up front, the less new debt you're going to accumulate on your credit card. It allows you to take those dollars that you have, that you own, and budget them for your current obligations. Your rent, gas, groceries, utilities. You're making a plan for your money so that you can start paying for these expenses yourself instead of needing that credit card company to step in and do it for you. And when you start connecting the money you have to a concrete plan, aka a budget, you'll start to gain this mighty and powerful awareness of what your money needs to do, where it needs to go, how much, and you can still budget to pay off that balance a little bit each month while not putting more new debt on your card. And when that card is finally paid off and you're not swiping yourself into any more new debt, you are financially free. Your money is yours again, and bonus, you now have a plan mapped out for your money, a roadmap to navigate all your expenses every month. That's the budget I'm referring to in case you're not tracking. Now, you can also go the slower way of breaking the credit card float, and that's simply by cutting all unnecessary spending. Slash whatever you can for a while. Stop using the credit card unless you absolutely have to. You need to hang out with your friends, but you don't need to go out to dinner to hang out with your friends. You need clothes in your closet, but you don't need to add new pieces to your collection every month. My dog needs toys, but there are sticks. Free toys right on the ground. Instead of sending your money to things that don't help you reach financial freedom, send the money you would have spent on those things to your immediate obligations instead. And it's gonna be hard, but it's not gonna be forever. This is a special time to fight for the ownership of your money. Just like with the library book, you don't own the money that you borrow, despite the fact that it's in your possession. It's a loan. Work as quickly as you can to pay it back and get to a point of true ownership. And at that point, you'll have moved from living on next month's income to living on last month's income. And that is total money paradise, let me tell you. For those of you who love credit cards for their rewards and their points, once you're living on last month's income, you can actually use that credit card to your heart's content because you'll be budgeting with money that you already own, and you'll know that you can pay that bill back anytime you want without putting your current financial situation in jeopardy. Freeing yourself of debt and becoming financially independent is challenging and tricky and tiring, but 1000% the best thing for our financial security. Sometimes all it takes is the right tools to help equip us and get our feet back under us. And that's what YNAB is all about. YNAB's like that brutally honest best friend, you know what I mean? The one who tells you the truth even when you don't want to hear it. That's a good friend. YNAB helps you design a worry-free budget using only the money you already have right now, not money you're waiting to receive, so you can beat the credit card float and be your very best financial self. And you can give YNAB a try right now, today, with our free 34-day trial. We have endless free resources to help you achieve budgeting success and financial freedom, even if you don't use the app, because we want everyone to have financial security with their money, which makes now a great time to share a YNAB win. Bob Bridges says, I am hooked. The one thing that I always missed before on other budgeting apps was the idea of true expenses, the ones that came up only every 6 months or 12 months and smack you across the head. But if you plan them out in YNAB, they won't. My biggest priority right now is paying off debt. I've traditionally been behind the 8 ball and ended up short on money every month, but after listing everything in YNAB, it looks like I actually have money left over. What? How did that happen? It's magic. It's actually not magic, Bob. It's just you totally owning your financial life and finding freedom in the budget. So today, we be like Bob. We love Bob. Hashtag Bob. If you have any questions about YNAB, you want to learn more about how to budget, how to use YNAB, or how our 4 rules to budgeting success works, check out our website. We have help docs, we have live workshops and Q&A sessions, YouTube videos, and you can even ask questions down below in the YouTube comments if you want to know how to get started with YNAB right now. Because the YNAB community is fire and they love helping other people find their budgeting stride. If you've never budgeted before, there's no harm in starting now. Give it a try. It's your time to discover the budgeting power you have within you. And we're pretty sure you're gonna love it. Thanks for tuning in, y'all, and we'll see you in the next video. Credit card float. It's no real surprise when a recent fuddy found that. Dang it. Also, side note, once you are oh no, okay. You crap. Okay. Okay, no. We don't need that line. Yeah. It's been a long day, y'all.